Hi, I'm Kaye Freeman, and I'm one of the many artists in the show at Band of Vices. This is one of my paintings. And today I'm interviewing Terrell Tilford, the director of Band of Vices. And I'm really honoured and pleased today to be interviewing Terrell Tilford. Did I get that right?
Of course.
And he's the director of Band of Vices here in downtown Los Angeles. Band of Vices is an art gallery, and we'll just jump straight into it. So tell us about the evolution of Band of Vices. Who, where, when, what, why?
Essentially, the evolution of Band of Vices is I started in 2015 after my first gallery, Tilford Art Group. I took 5 years off between the two. Didn't step foot in one gallery, one museum, one artist studio, nothing whatsoever. And I knew I wanted to do something different with a broader, committed group of artists. And so it just took that time for me to really sort of think through it. But I actually launched Band of Vices in a 13-story loft space in downtown LA. I did 2 shows there as sort of like a test run because I've been away for 5 years. And proof of concept, if you build it, they'll still come. So I was appreciative of that. And then quickly after that, we moved into West Adams, and we resided there for 8.5 years before coming down here to the historic downtown LA Arts District.
Well, that's where I met you in the little gallery.
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I love that space.
Mm-hmm.
And then you went to the big one, the big pink one, and then you're here. So
they're all big, though. Nothing is
they're
little.
all big. They're all
They're
vision.
just different levels of intimacy.
Yeah. So in a world of clickbait and polarization, are art galleries still relevant?
Of course they are. Everything is still relevant. It's just a matter of, we're just in changing times, that's all. And so, we have to adapt to the different circumstances. To me, asking that is really the same as asking, are artists still relevant? And 100%. We need each other for different reasons and, for different amplifications, different activations as well. But I think every element of it is it's just a matter of refining what it is and redesigning it and coming up with new language and new vocabulary and going, this can still exist, but the traditional model has been broken for years. It's one of the worst business models, in the world. So yes, it's still relevant. It just needs to change on its axis.
I mean, as an artist who paints, I find that this is like a tool. You know what I mean? The technology and all of that is like, it's a tool that you can use, but you cannot be consumed by it because the magic we have around us.
There's too much saturation of just what social media is. People even walk into the gallery first with their phone pointed toward the art, and sometimes I'll go, you'll really experience it if you put your phone down.
Exactly.
Let's take a moment to sort of divest from this thing for a second. It has its place and time, but much like back to your question about our galleries relevant, like we need places for artists to be able to exhibit their works. It's not the only place, and I think there are more creative places that you can do it, and there are places that are really off the grid that are very different. I started doing this in, my brownstone in New York, and then my apartment in San Francisco, and then doing pop-ups in Chicago and New Orleans, Atlanta, stuff like that. And then I was doing it out of my home before CCH Pounder talked me into opening my first commercial space in mid-city. So, there's just different stories to be told in different ways.
Art can be anywhere.
100%,
Any way you want it to be.
I mean, literally, it's like, I saw recently, not too long ago, there's the U-Haul Art Fair in New York, and I think that's brilliant. They take over a block or two, get a whole bunch of U-Hauls, throw the artwork up in there. It's really making it accessible for people to see the work. And a lot of people are intimidated by galleries. They're intimidated to go into someone's home, wherever the location may be. That's what I mean by like reconfiguring and redesigning, what that looks like.
Yeah, it's really interesting. There's like a perceived hierarchy within the art world that, you know, it's not helpful really to anyone.
No, it's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, because I felt like we had a different perspective, a warmer language, a more inviting ethos about, you know, how we wanted to do this and how we wanted to interact with people. And I think that's the thing that people connect with. When people come into our spaces, what I've found is they come in with one idea of something, and 9 times out of 10 they end up with leaving with something that's even greater than the art. It's a feeling within themselves, like they feel welcome, they feel seen, they feel yes, exactly.
That's right.
They feel acknowledged, and you know, just like that.